CNC4A likes to show you how to build things, how to save money doing it, and also make sure it's innovation. Now, where this varies differently to many of the others, so this one can simply detach and reattach front and rear. As you can see, the table is not all the way forward, but already the slideways are exposed, the ball screw is exposed, and the limit switches are exposed. That's where I need to oil them. You also need to oil the slideways because there's no oiling provision that our friends who make the mill have supplied. So with this particular project, I just went through the scrap bin, found up some bits of aluminium that I pulled off a big plotter and decided to make them. So this is the L-shaped or the Z-shaped end bracket, and you can see in these photos that it's all hand done. Folded it on the press, just hacksawed it and folded it. Had to make clearance in case these move, so nothing here caught on it. In the previous design, I had made up this aluminium template, and I just used that to transfer the holes. When you think about making a CNC mill or any project, spend an extra 10 minutes before you start and think, right, what do I want to do with it? What am I going to do with it in a month's time? What will I do with it in a year's time? What will I want to add it? Think about all the possibilities, and then think, okay, I want a rear cover. So I then drilled the saddle whilst it was off the machine. Then I know that when I come around to getting the saddle, holes already drilled. Same as all the other projects and parts I do. You've got to think about, okay, there's a hole here, yes, I'll drill and tap that now. 2 months, 6 months, 5 years. You don't want to have to pull your whole machine down because you've managed to get enough money to buy a certain part that's going to fit. So spend 10 minutes and think. So this particular bellows here was too high and I had to trim it to size. But the problem is, as you can see, the shape, it's not just a C-section, it's got steps in it, step pyramid shape. Now the problem is that you have a height from the base to the top of this saddle extension. So that is that distance from there to there. Then you have this next distance from here to here. Now if you left it large, it will be rubbing on the table. Any swarf or anything can get in there and cause trouble. Plus, at the end of the machine, I've got my coolant outlet and other parts. So I need this to be lower as possible. The next problem is this particular section here. That manages to fit over there with about, say, 10mm clearance. But the trouble is, our friends who make the mill, it's asymmetrical. It's off to one side by 20mm. So even though this is symmetrical, it has to sit over this side. So on this side of the table, when it's sitting on this side, it's close to the edge. On the other side, it is also close to the edge. But I've had to push it this way. If it was in the center, it would be hanging over. So as you can see in these photos, I just hacksawed it off. Another problem too is on the old mill, the vertical horizontal mill I've got, it's got the cloth, but that's all there is. There's an end plate, front plate, back plate, and the cloth. But in this particular design, they've got plastic inserts between each one of these. Now that's good to make it a lot more solid, but you cannot cut and fold these inserts to make it smaller, because you could do that. If it was too wide, you'd be able to cut it and then just put a crease in it and fold it under. But these are all glued in, cut to size, and not worth the effort trying to get them to work. So you get this particular model, you make the compromise, you cut the end down so as the distance is really from here to here, from there to there, because that cannot change unless you want to mill all those bits of plastic, all those bits of cloth. So been cut. Then up the end I made two L brackets. I've also made a bracket, as you can see in these photos, that joins the two together, so they are then rigid. Then I've added a lip piece to it as well, so as the lip just slides in between the sticker plastic end plate and one of these folds. So fold it up, drill it through just in the vise of the hammer, cut these pieces up. Now this particular one, it's from that edge to here, keeps it in position. Two screws that fit in there, so one plate, two plates, three plates. That's the shape of it. I've got it marked column, table, so as I know which way it goes back. This particular plate is wider than this gap, and it actually fits in there. You get that plate, you slide it in by hand, mark it, and it happened to be 20 millimetres. This is 25 mil thick, so 5 mil less than shoving it up in the corner, because this is glued and it won't fit straight up. So to put it on, you stand up, but then you'll only be seeing your backside and you don't want to see that. That fits on there. I haven't filed any lead-ins yet. This is just finished 5 minutes ago. So I'll just file a lead in that bottom lip to help it, but that one's easy enough. Off, oil, back on. Making sure that gap is correct to keep it at the back. So as you can see, quite a good investment. Saves you a lot of machining time. You can knock them up in an afternoon. You could, if you wish, just put some large magnets in under there and have it kept there by the magnets off a hard drive or something like that. Especially if you just do aluminium swarf, you won't have any problems. So I can inspect the ball screw, inspect the ball nut, inspect the limit switches, oil everything, and pop it back fairly easily and quickly, and it looks good. So as Evan and I seem to do, I seem to highly recommend. So if you want to protect your slideways, make it versatile so it's easy to come on and off. I've got two screws on the side, so I can unscrew the whole bracket and take that off if I want to, and it's only screws are just resting against the V, and that's just pulling it back in. So that's another good project that I recommend. Give it a go, and thanks for watching.